Well, thanks, Joe. You're doing a great job. Unfortunately, over the last couple years, I think a lot of Americans, understandably, have viewed people involved in public health as really a menace to their freedoms. I mean, force you to take vax or lose your job, force you to muzzle yourself, even lock you down, all these different things. And I think Joe, from the beginning, has been advocating policies that were based in common sense, that were based in really the accumulated wisdom of prior pandemics and other things where they realized a lot of this stuff was not good policy, and he's been willing to lead, whether, we led on making sure kids weren't forced to wear masks in school. Like most districts followed our law, but some didn't, and so we had to have that fight, and they're so much better off. I mean, how are you going to teach a kid to read and enunciate when they're covered in this mask for 8 hours a day? Joe was willing to come up and say that, and the kids are better off for it. Same thing with making sure that you had protections for your job based on this. And you had a lot of these public health authorities rejecting core scientific principles like immunity through prior infection. I think the CDC, it took them, a year and a half to even acknowledge that there was protection for people. They're still wavering on it, and so that's like, that is not confidence inspiring. And so I think time and time again, we've seen a lot of these institutions and a lot of the people that, and first of all, you kind of have to say this garbage, otherwise you ain't going to get booked on CNN. That's just the way it works. And so they've constantly done that, and I think the result is people have just totally lost trust in a lot of these institutions and a lot of these people. And I think what Joe brings in Florida, and people around the country are noticing this because people will say they like him, they don't even live here when they run into me, is somebody that you can trust, that is not somebody that believes that our freedoms are just simply expendable just because a cabal of medical people don't think that the freedoms are worth anything. That's not the way you practice medicine. And so I hope that with what Florida's been able to do, I mean, we're more of a model of, we want doctors to be able to practice medicine. We want them to be able to put their judgments out there and stand up for what they think is the proper science, even if it doesn't fit the narrative, and they need to be able to be protected to do that. So Joe's really led the way on that, and I think that, there's different people, parents have flocked to Florida because of the schools open and the no mask and not forcing the students to be vaxxed. But I think you're going to see more and more physicians come to Florida because they understand that this is a great place to practice medicine with people like Joe at the helm. Okay, Sean Molsberger, you're up. Okay.